you will find that the black people have never actually established a network of stability, or should I say, proven relationships of stability. While I do not speak for all black people, because I am convinced that there are some who can object to my statement, and I will gladly I would love nothing more than for that. However, the remaining masses of black people seem to struggle, particularly black men, and the relationship with black women, to the point where black men are resorting to other cultures and resorting to other ways of finding other ways of kind of bonding and forming relationships, while remaining void on the reality regarding the lifestyle and the certain decisions that some of these women outside of the category of the black man may go through to further exploit the black man, and perhaps even hinder his chances of being secure from the home root and the cause of his blackness. So it is with this I tell black people, the main issue that we have in the community, particularly with black men do not select appropriate women, and the role of a woman in the life of a black man especially is one in which you need to be very well aware of. We live in a society as we speak where there are several movements where females in particular are empowered. And if you don't realize this, you will realize that too late, that for as long as you remain in black skin, you will never have the same position of power as a woman outside of your community, because that woman, whether it be a white woman or an Asian woman, has established a community of her own to which she has been appraised and uplifted, and actually proven to receive well adequate compensation, attention, and options. It is very important that black men know the routes or the avenues to avoid. The first type of female I believe a black man must avoid at all time is a female who consistently provokes other men into chasing her online on the social media platforms, or overall within the industry. You will find that when black people grow into positions within the white structure, these black people are very new. They're like fresh spring eggs, more or less, to the point where they do not understand that they are nothing more than public commodity, public merchandise, to which some of these women use as a further leverage point and a claim to further exploit these black people by proving their status, which we know the American system has indoctrinated that the main proof of status as far as the white community is concerned is exploitation of the black man. So every time you are going after these women on social media and they are posting all of these pictures, just understand the reason I say this. You are not the only person who she is interested in, and I do not care what your NBA position is. I don't care what number one song you have on the charts. If you believe genuinely that this female has decided to dedicate her life to you, you are confused beyond earth. If this female is a influencer or a one of the industry in an industry where a mass following is part of her revenue of income or attention, you need to understand that you are nothing more than the commodity and the product in which you can be exploited for, as far as this particular person is concerned. You may end up with them for a night. But while you're up with her for a night, subconsciously, you do not know this, but behind her is a list of hundreds of other people who are also willing to perhaps pay even more, perhaps even coming with more wealth, more status, more security than you, to secure a point proven with this particular female. And furthermore, do not even forget the mass following in which this female counts, especially if she claims to be an influencer and she is posting those pictures which got your attention in the first place, but because you are so indoctrinated into everything you see on the media, you believe that this is the way to go. So please, if you see a female on social media, understand it is virtual reality. There is nothing personal between you two. And I mean that for a guaranteed 99.999 moving so far onwards % of the time. So please, I understand that is the first type of female. The second type of female who I believe you must avoid is the not only the influencer, but the athlete chaser, should I say. The one who chases you because of your physicality or your potential. Another reason to further exploit you, and another reason to further prove a claim in which your rise within the structure is nothing more than an object as far as this particular female is concerned. And you will find amongst many black college athletes that the number one trap that always lands a case related to the law or a devastating impact to which they are trapped into nothing more than psychological manipulation, and perhaps even situations further and beyond, is due to the fact that rather than focusing on their discipline as an athlete, the attention eventually receives some sort of validation as far as the black man is concerned, and he feels the need that in order to fulfill his role in the discipline which he has chosen, that he needs a specific type of female. And there is nobody who has ruined black men, especially black athletes, more than the college community or the university community who seeks to add this black man to nothing more than a list or an experiment or an opportunity. So if you are a black man in your athletic field, please avoid anybody who is chasing you for your athleticism. The other type of female who you must absolutely avoid is a female who has never in her life identified or appropriated or developed a sense of knowledge regarding the black man. Now, I am not telling you that just because a female is not black that you cannot get along with her. I genuinely do believe that you are in a good position to establish a common ground despite your differences, and if you can do that, honestly, good job to you. However, you will find that amongst the majority of women, there is an absolute refusal to acknowledge the cause of the black woman, the black man. And here's something you need to know, and I am begging you to know this, okay? Women, as particularly white women, Asian women, Latino women, they are not oblivious to the fact that America has degraded the black man. So if this is evidence, it is evidence in their structure, from how they operate within professional industries. There are no black people there. So understand that if you're not in that industry and you are working towards trying to be with a female who doesn't actually identify with your cause, this is a absolute no-no. There is no way as a black man you can slip into anybody's community and be accepted. I don't care what degree you have. I don't care how much wealth you have amassed. I don't care how good you look. You're a black man, you will never be accepted into another culture or another community. And I truly, truly mean it. Your culture and your tradition, those are two completely different spectrums to the cultures and traditions of other people who will not tell you this on a conscious level, but have already placed you in the position of being on a list full of other people who are also within her cultural right able to be prioritized over your relation and your cause. And so if you can develop a sense of understanding for what I am saying, you will develop an appreciation for yourself. Perhaps you will even develop an appreciation for the fact that you have black women. You will understand that the role of the black woman can never be replaced by a woman of any other nationality. Listen, the woman, even if she's not black, and I am not disputing the fact that she cannot love you. I think she can. And like I told you, if you're in that situation, congratulations to you. However, nobody on planet Earth, and as I speak, nobody will ever represent the strength of the black woman, the courage of the black woman, the devotion of the black woman, who, as we see as a majority, raise single black men all by themselves. Nobody will ever compare to that contribution that a black woman can make from the food she can cook, from the tradition, from the meanings of strength, from her determination to stick with you even when times are stormy. There is no other female alive besides the black woman, right? Even if you are an educated, wealthy black man, you're tapping into a lifestyle where people, white women, Asian women, so on, have been there before you. And should you lose any of that wealth or moving onwards, there is no backbone between you besides the fact that you have found a way into that system. So understand that your main contribution as a black man, you have to prioritize the black woman. There is no excuse. And I think for a long time, black men have become distant from the black woman, almost unrecognizable to the black woman, not knowing that just as we as black men are facing hostility from the white communities, these black women who are left to fight and raise children all by themselves are likewise going through the same. So while I'm not intervening on your personal, private, confidential matters. I can only tell you how to improve your circumstances. And once you really develop a sense of appreciation for who you are and who you have been raised by, rather than running away from your problems, perhaps you can embrace them, develop a sense of strength. The truth is, and as I will be 100% honest, I have probably never ran into a female of another nationality who will actually go for a black man who is not established. The black man is way too low in the social income structure, and if you know how the social classes system works, especially in America, you do not go down. Okay, you do not choose to go down. And black people, despite our efforts, have always been seen at the bottom, and even when we climb to the top, are treated as the bottom. No different from any other black person. Your black Ivy League scholar receives the same level of disrespect as the black people who are still stuck in low income structures, and that's no disrespect to them. But just to give you perspective, that this hopefully can change the way that you perceive situations, the way that you can interpret situations, perhaps your level of understanding. And once you develop that level of understanding, I am of firm belief that there will be well-meaning establishments and purpose for your sense, your direction, your future. And should you run into any of these traps, which is a very dangerous situation to be in, when your wealth has been colonized as it has been, when your status is colonized, when your credibility has been colonized, all because you have been void of knowledge, or perhaps misled or misunderstood. Perhaps the information can help paint some perspective while not hindering your decision making. My advice is very simple. It would just be understand your position. All right. I promise you, every black man I know who has tried to run away from being a black man has failed. I don't care if he was mixed race. I don't care if he was raised in a white school. He ran away from a black man. His health deteriorated along with his overall success in life. So if you want to go down that road, be my guest. Nobody's stopping you. But for somebody who likes to dive into the black community so much, I'm gonna beg you to please just avoid being in these complicated dynamics. And once you make your life less complicated, you will find a focus point. You'll find perhaps direction. And this is one thing I need to push, especially amongst black men, that to start the community, the black men need to take the initiative, and the black men need to speak like black men rather than like controlled puppets, begging to live amongst other people because we cannot control our own selves.